Every time I do a mod on my Ekko, I fail to document it, and then eventually somebody online asks, has somebody done this? And then I don't have anything for it. So this time I'm going to document this mod, and then it can be referenced for the future. So I've been driving around in this thing for a year, about 14 months, and used the stock microwave and been carrying around a Ninja air fryer, which has worked, but it's a pain in the neck to move that Ninja air fryer in and out of the rig. So I bought the RecPro combination microwave air fryer, which of course claims to be a direct replacement, but of course it definitely is not. It will fit in the cabinet, but I'm going to show you what I had to do to make that happen. So when you first pull the microwave out, you're going to remove 4 screws here, unplug it in the cabinet over here, and then you're going to find that you can just slide the microwave right out of the space here. And what you will see in there is an absolute rat's nest of wiring. So your first step is probably to take about an hour to very carefully work through and rearrange this wiring and get it all packed up nicely in these spaces. Step number 2 is going to be to cut this frame bigger. Now for me, I was able to just run the shoe of my Bosch jigsaw right against the panel and slice this. Basically slice this line, and this line just by running the shoe. And that made it almost the exact size I needed. Then I scribed a line just barely above this bottom surface and cut along that with a jigsaw. So that'll get your opening to the size you want. If you've done a good job with your wiring, the microwave should just slide right into this box at this point. You're going to find that it sticks out further than the other one. So what I did was, I feel like most of the weight is supported by, or going to be supported by, this upper beam. So I pulled out this stick right here, which is just stapled and then screwed to the top, and replaced it with a piece of angle aluminum. I ran 4 screws up all the way through both layers of plywood up here. And then I think I've got 5 screws coming through the back side here into this piece of poplar here. This is something I had laying around. You might be able to do this out of a good dense 2x4, but you'll definitely have to cut it down to dimension on a table saw. Do is mount another piece of wood, very much like this one up here, down along the bottom. Now this one I thought to paint beforehand. I've gone with gloss black because that's what the frame is around the microwave. This has been mounted with 4 screws from behind to this front piece of plywood. And so basically my front frame for the microwave is going to mount to this beam up here, and then this last beam I've added right here. So the next thing I've done is install these 2 wooden rails here. And these are just some 3/4 inch lumber I had laying around, cut to just the right dimension to support the edges of the microwave. And that's because I didn't want the heat shield resting directly on this. Particularly, if it moves a little bit as you're bouncing down the road, I felt that wouldn't be a good idea to have that heat shield flexing the whole time. So these will support that a little bit more towards the back. Now the microwave is very heavy, so it's best if you can get extra pair of hands. If you're good and strong and set it up right, you can get it in by yourself, but it is a little bit challenging. Last thing you need to make sure is that you have given yourself adequate space to plug the microwave in or get the power cord through that last hole right there. Microwave slid into place. The solution I used to get the power cord through was to plug it into an extension cord that I first fed through the hole and then plugged the microwave in. And then as I was lifting it up, I was able to pull on this extension cord and work the two so that the cord would come through the hole and not be binding, because obviously I can't get my hands in through these slots to do that. So you really have to come up with something, and this worked quite well. All right, and so then your last steps are just to install the trim sash here, that's what they call it, and then mount it with the 6 screws, and you're basically done. Just time to clean up your mess and cook something in it and make